What's up, guys? It's KB. Make sure you subscribe to the Underground Sports Philadelphia YouTube channel. Click the bell icon down below so you don't miss a single video from us. And thanks for tuning in to another video from Underground Sports Philadelphia. Now let's get into it.
Philadelphia, baby, you're gonna love it. Best sports fans in the world. Actually, the worst, but that's what makes them the best.
Us going from not recording because of Christmas to recording in the new year. Me being sick last week and us not recording in this. I feel like I haven't recorded a legit episode in like 3 months.
I even sitting down for the interview was like, what the, like, it's like I gotta set like all of my stuff up, and I was like, holy shit.
Like this morning I opened up to make the Google Doc. I was like, wait, I haven't done this in a really long time.
Yeah.
But yes.
Hello, friends.
Hello, friends.
Welcome to episode number 92.
Yeah.
Nice. That's total guess. Welcome to episode number 92 of the Underground Circuit podcast. Got it right. If you are new here, we have some new friends, some new Spotify followers. So if you're a new listener, you may have known us as the Underground F1 podcast. That was our old name. We recently rebranded because we wanted to get into more general motorsport and make the name a little bit more official and fun and unique to us. My name is Owen. That is my sister, Casey. Welcome to another episode. If you are new, like I said, please follow us over at Instagram and Threads at underground_circuit. There are no vowels in underground besides the leading U. And over on Twitter/X at UGCircuitPod. So happy that came scrolling across the bottom of the screen as I was reading it. That was a huge help.
Well, that was like me during the closing of the episode where we switched halfway through. I was like, wait a second, I need for it to come across.
That was such a huge help. I probably would have gotten that wrong if I did not have our little ticker bar going at the bottom. We got a great episode for everybody today. A whole lot of news.
And it's not even stuff like we obviously didn't record last week because I was sick, but this news like didn't just even like not even happen last week. Like this is all.
It's all recent.
Oh, very recent, yeah.
Yeah. So we'll go over our news. We'll do our meme of the week. Then we jump into a fantastic interview with our friends over at Box Club.
Brought to you by BoxBox.
Brought to you by BoxBox. That interview is me and Ranjith. Just you heard Casey say she was sick last week, so she did not hop in on the interview. It's a great conversation. I have talked numerous times on this show about them and my love for them and my love for the app, and my love and appreciation and respect for them has like tripled in size now.
Yeah.
It's a really great interview. So we hope you enjoy that one. But jumping into it, Casey, do you want to lead us off with meme of the week?
I can. Meme of the week. Okay, my meme of the week has nothing to do with F1 in any manner, even though my fave Charles Leclerc posted an Instagram dump site. You thought it would have been easy to use something from there, but no, mine has to do with the Philadelphia Flyers and the #1 mascot of all time.
It's so good.
So this is my meme for the audio listeners. The other night, the Philadelphia Flyers played the Anaheim Ducks, and Gritty has his little chaos corner, as he calls it. So he set up a lemonade stand and had someone in a Ducks jersey with a duck hat, like mask or whatever, there come up to the lemonade stand, and Gertie's holding a sign saying no grapes.
No grapes.
Best bit ever. So someone tweeted quite possibly the gag of the century because it is like it's
genius.
It's genius. And then Gertie retweeted it and said, legend says he waddled away. He waddled away.
Oh, if you're unfamiliar with why we're loving this so much, there is a YouTube animated thing that is just type in duck lemonade stand and you'll find it.
It's so old, and the song will live in your head for
it's a
hours.
Yeah. It's let me see if I can find real fast when that was posted.
Like they've played the Ducks before. Maybe they haven't played them at home recently. Like I can't remember last year, but it's just such a perfect.
No, this screams of like somebody on Gritty's team or like somebody
is
in
a
social
millennial
media team.
and Gen Z.
Yeah, and like either remembered it or like came across it again, and they were like, "Oh my god, we're playing the Ducks. This has to be done." So the video itself was posted 15 years ago.
Damn.
So it's from 2010 at this point.
Jeez. I was in 10th grade.
Take a guess.
How many views?
How many views this video?
Oh my god, it's 15 years.
It's a disgusting number.
I'm gonna go 550 million views.
Wow, I didn't think you were gonna go that high. It's higher. It's 649 million views. This video has.
Christ. And the most recently is all the Flyer social media and Gritty social media.
Yes, exactly. People are probably like, "What the hell is this?" Looked it up and brought in a couple more thousand views, but that's chump change at this point. God, what a great video!
What a great video! And now some stuff. See, I can't tell you the last time I watched the video, but the song's automatically in my head.
But that's the thing.
Sing it now.
I also hear Lemonade Stand, and I immediately saying, "Duck walked up to the lemonade stand, and he said to the man, rather than hey, bump, bump, bump. Got any grapes?"
And then that's what Gritty's tweet too. I read it in the tune of the song, and he waddled away. That's
so good.
Great. Now I'm gonna be going to bed tonight singing that. So
yeah, I'm not gonna be able to sleep tonight because of it.
But yes, that was my meme of the week. Like I said, not F1 related, but needed to be shown. Shed a light.
Absolutely. Yeah, needed to be shown.
All right.
Bring out our Philly side a little bit.
Yeah. Owen's meme of the week.
My meme of the week is F1 related. Is Charles Leclerc, and there's two reasons I picked this meme.
I'll say, is there?
A, Jesus fucking Christ, Charles.
He looks jacked.
Chill out. First of all, oh my God, this is. I know the picture is framed to make it look a bit better for him, but why? Second reason I picked this meme is he's using some equipment called gym.
Mm-hmm.
This is the same equipment that I have at my work's gym. Therefore, me and Charles Leclerc train using the same gym equipment. Therefore, I am as strong as Charles Leclerc. Therefore, I can drive an F1 car.
I'm trying. You can't even see what he has it on the weight-wise, so I can't even ask.
You can't even I can't even take a guess at what weight he's doing. Well, I don't know. It's pretty
far down.
He's doing leg extension, and his leg is up.
Only one.
What do you mean only one? Oh, it is only one. So he's doing a lighter weight. Because that yellow bar at the top there in the thing is like a clip to add 5 pounds or something like that if you want it. Mm-hmm. And then the weight clip is right there. So it's probably 3 or 4 down, but yeah. He's doing it lighter, but yeah, I could probably barely do one plate.
I mean,
one of those small plates.
His legs look in this photo. It's not like he's skipping leg day, so.
No, he's definitely hitting leg day. But yes, Charles Leclerc and I share gym equipment. Therefore, I am Charles Leclerc.
Also, I like that you had Charles Leclerc meme, but I didn't.
Well, like I said, when I saw the meme, I didn't want to do it because it was Charles Leclerc, because I knew that I never have a Charles meme. But then that was also partly why I was like, no, I should do it. And then I saw the Techno Gym logo, and I was like, oh, I have to do it now, because now I am Charles Leclerc.
I am Charles Leclerc. Yeah. I am. But yes, that was meme of the week.
Meme of the week.
Moving on to, I'm all over the place. Weekly news. This bigger screen is much nicer, but I can see everything now. With my laptop, everything was hidden a little bit, so now I'm looking at everything that's on my screen. But weekly news brought to you by IPF1 Store.com. You know the drill by this point. Coupon code Underground 10. It's easy because it's the same as our name. To get 10% off over at IPF1Store.com for 10% off your entire purchase. Please take a check. Give it a look. My picture is back up and on my little shelf behind me now since my Christmas decorations are down.
Oh yes,
it's back up. So I have a cool little print from Suzuka last year with the cherry blossoms. So there's something literally for everyone on there, and a lot of cool Formula E stuff now as well. So check it out. But yes, like we said, there's a lot of weekly news.
Tons.
Tons. And there's actually a lot of IndyCar news that we're going to talk about as well, which I'm
IndyCar making an appearance.
Yeah, I'm very excited about.
I am. There's one piece of news in here that I'm very excited to talk about, and it already happened, and some people might know it, but there's more coming, and we'll talk about it. And I'm pumped about it because I really wanted it.
I have no clue what you're saying.
You'll get it as soon as I start talking about it. Yeah.
But yes, starting off strong with probably maybe the biggest piece of news that was from this week. Alpine. Alpine's making some waves.
Which props to Alpine for them to do it, for doing it and keeping them in.
Yeah, keeping them in. F1 Threads does not need to actually make that post come true that we put out there where I said if we all just put in $1, we can maybe create a team for Franco Colapinto. But Franco Colapinto has officially been announced as a reserve driver for Alpine. It's a pretty decent deal. Came out today, I think, from his manager said it? Former manager? Said who the...
I think.
Let me go to Coffee Corner.
Coffee Corner.
Shout out to Terry. Yeah, Franco Colapinto's manager confirmed that Alpine multi-year deal is a 5-year deal, not a loan deal.
Insane.
This is not confirmed by her, but it's most likely a buyback option included for Williams, which is wow. But yeah, Franco Colapinto, 5-year deal. I feel for both him and Jack Doohan.
I feel more for Jack Doohan.
I do feel for Jack Doohan because literally he's about to start his rookie year in an F1 car and no one cares because of this news with Franco Colapinto, because basically Alpine is waiting for Jack Doohan to fail.
Right. He had like a day to celebrate his news.
No, quite literally.
And then literally was like, oh, by the way, we signed Franco Colapinto just on the chance that we need to bring him up. And it's like, all right, well, you're not really inspiring confidence in your rookie there. Like,
no, and like there's all these rumors that Jack has like a clause that he gets like the first 5 races. Like, if Alpine starts off as slow as they did last year, he needs more than 5 races.
It's gonna be it's a weird move by Alpine. It's from a personal standpoint, it's a weird move. From a team securing kind of the future standpoint, it's a logical move. It's, hey, we have this rookie, we trust him, we want him to do well, and we want to support him. But on the off chance that it doesn't go the way we want it to, we have this other kind of rookie that has experience in an F1 race, doing different situations, and has experience in the car. We signed him just as a backup. It makes complete logical business move sense. But yes, from a team morale perspective and a Jack Doohan perspective, it is like, oh, okay.
It's giving Red Bull. Like, they want to kind of come in and be more toxic than Red Bull with already putting this pressure. But yeah, I mean, I feel for Jack a lot more than I do for Franco, but like, God forbid Jack sucks. They put Franco in and he's in the same form he was at the end of last season. Crashing massively every race. But there's a part of me that wants Jack Doohan to get in that car and just absolutely
I want him to kill
prove them wrong.
Yeah, absolutely.
Prove them wrong.
That's the thing. This can light a fire under Jack's ass in 2 different ways. It's A, I'm on the hot seat and my job's at risk, or B, it's all right, I'm going to take that a little personally. Fuck you. Now I'll drive my ass off. Like, that's the way that it can go for him.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel. But yeah, we'll see. That will be an interesting, what's it called? Development that is going to be talked about from now until Jack's out of the car. Someone posted I could have done this as a meme, but it was very meme. It was like an old childhood photo of Jack and Mick, and it was like not even nepotism could have saved them.
Damn.
I was like, that's so mean.
That's brutal.
So mean. But yes, on top of Franco, Alpine does have another reserve driver that they have announced.
Ryo Hirakawa.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I meant to look up I meant to Google how to pronounce it before and have it play in my ear, but I knew I was gonna forget. He is also now their reserve driver, so making Alpine not only putting them in little hot water with Jack and Franco, they have 3 reserve drivers because they also have Paul Aaron, who's a reserve driver for them. So they have 3.
They're weird.
And someone was like, "Is it normal for teams to have 3?" And I said, "Yes." If you look at Ferrari last year, they had 3.
True. Yeah.
They had Ollie,
right.
they had Robert Schwartzman, and they had Arthur.
Yeah. Huh.
I think it's normal for teams to have 1 or 2, or if you're Williams, you have none. But
none with no other cars to drive too,
and probably none this year. But maybe they're okay this year since they have both people don't have their appendix, so they're safe on that front.
They're both lighter in the car now.
Yeah, they're both lighter. But yeah, they have 3 reserve drivers now, so it'll be interesting. But I think they already promised Hirakawa, if I just said it correctly, that he will drive in FP1, I think, during the Japanese Grand Prix FP1.
Oh,
so
good. Yeah.
That'll be nice. Yeah. That'll be...
yeah.
Because last year was when, I think, VCarb let... Was it... Yeah. VCarb let... I'm blanking. He's in...
No, he drove... are you thinking of Red Bull?
Was it Red Bull?
Ayahuasca? Red Bull had a Japanese driver. Yeah, they let...
Because it was Yuki and him that
were
driving during FP1. But yeah, so they already know he will be driving for Alpine, though, in FP1.
And smart and right decision. Yeah.
Yeah. But I also, I'm going off. This is not noted here, but I need to bring it up. And it's also because it has to do with Alpine a little bit. There's a severe situation going on in the F1 world. All the drivers are cutting their hair. Also, Pierre Gasly, there was a photo posted by Pierre or his girlfriend, and he had a buzz cut. But there's rumors that he's taking a trip somewhere to get a hair transplant. Hair plugs to Pierre Gasly.
Why?
Have you ever seen that man's hairline? It's back here.
I have not seen that, but okay.
Pierre's hairline is awful, so it wouldn't make sense, and I think it's very thin up there. Then Jack Doohan posted a photo the other day. He has a buzz cut.
I saw his video of him running, and he had a buzz cut, and I was like, what the hell is that?
People are like, is it a requirement now for Alpine? You have to have a buzz cut to help with aerodynamics or something?
They're going full military discipline. Yeah.
So this someone's like, watch Franco. Franco has a nice curly hair. That can't go.
Yeah.
But then George posted a video. He got a haircut. What's happening?
What is going on?
Stay away.
Charles,
so then people were saying, no. People were saying, we were talking today on threads about what other drivers would look good with a buzz cut and without a buzz cut. Charles and Carlos, I can't see looking good with a buzz cut.
No, Charles would look. I'm picturing an actor in my head, and I feel like Charles would look like him. I can't think of it though.
Both
of them would not look good.
No, Carlos has Prince level hair. You can't shave off that head.
Yeah, no.
I feel like we've kind of maybe seen a little bit of for Lando, especially with the sides of his mullet, because it's a little bit shorter on the sides.
Yeah, he's got it shorter on the sides.
He would look normal.
Yeah.
Trying to think what else. Yuki? No, Yuki got a big head.
Yuki's got a massive fucking head.
Ocon probably could pull it off.
Yeah, I could, because he's already got shorter hair.
Yeah.
So it would make a little bit more sense for him to do it, but
yeah, there's a severe issue. If I see one other driver cut their hair, I'm boycotting.
Last Stroll's next. Last Stroll.
I mean, maybe.
Just cut the hair. Go full military. There you go.
Did you see the photo Fernando Alonso posted of him next training?
No. Oh. Yes. God, it was scary.
It's insane. He's coming for that Rookie of the Year 2025.
Disgusting.
We got off topic, but I needed to bring up I needed to bring up the hair issue because it's legit.
It's a disease.
It's a disease. But yes, moving on. I'll go to the Spa news next before we go to Williams.
Okay.
Spa was announced. This was the other day. We woke up to this, didn't we? Yes.
Yes.
Spa was announced that they have signed a multi-year extension, but it's not what everyone thinks. It is very unfortunate because Spa is so legendary and iconic.
Yeah.
But it will be in the grid or in the calendar 4 times over the next 6 seasons because it's also going to rotate. So we will see Spa, and I'm pulling this from our friend Mark's article. You will see it. It is now scheduled for 2026, 2027, 2029, and 2031. So we won't have it in 2028 or 2030. And obviously we have it this year, but
I feel like this is going to do nothing but just elevate Spa more because it's like the years that it's going to be off that people are going to be like, oh, I miss Spa, like all this stuff. And it's going to become more of this like event when it rolls around that they're back at Spa and everything, and that it's going to be like better races and everything, you would hope. But I mean, yeah, it's interesting. It's the first bit of news and confirmation that we're seeing that rotational kind of calendar is coming.
Yeah.
So
well, luckily Spa's not lose because Spa's also used for WEC. Like I think there's a 6-hour race there, which is people. It's an intense race. But yeah, I mean F1 Spa just going up Eau Rouge. It's one of the most iconic, and dangerous, like straights on the circuit. But yeah, it's unfortunate, but I do agree. I think it'll make people will want to not miss it because it's only going to be like every so often. I wouldn't be interested to see like 2029. That's the first year it would have a break from the year before, like how
big it is.
Yeah, like how fast tickets sell out or whatever. I think it's Spa, so like I feel like tickets they don't have an issue selling tickets, so I don't think that would be a problem. But yeah, that was the Spa news. Moving on, Williams. They have announced that they will be having their own unveiling of they're calling it the FW47 on Valentine's Day. This is a few days before the F175 event, but they will be saving their livery for the F175 event, which I think we're going to see all the liveries at one time at that event. We won't see the cars, but that's what people are like, then how are we going to see the car without the livery? When they just put last year's livery on it? Like, to show, like, with the sponsors?
Probably. Yeah, because, you know, the sponsors want to be on there and everything. But, yeah, I can imagine it'll be just a last year livery imprinted on the new body of the car. And then, that F175 event, we'll see.
Yeah.
All the new liveries, you know. Yeah. Have you seen the conspiracy theory going around that Ferrari's teasing a new shade of red for their car?
Yes, this kind of goes perfectly into the next.
Yeah.
I just added to the list because I forgot it. Yeah, their social media is perfect right now.
Yeah.
The vibe they're going for, but I have seen multiple Italian journalists say it's going to be a deeper or more intense shade of red.
Which I love.
If you look at their social media, like the cake, it was on I think the restaurant table is a deeper shade of red. And someone did bring up, I guess you can look it up, like Ferrari Reds and
you can get
Ferrari Reds.
You get the hex codes, absolutely. Yeah.
There is a deeper shade of red, and I'm kind of loving it.
I'm picturing like Radiator Springs Lightning McQueen red. Like when he gets the redesign in the first Cars movie. That's the shade of red I'm picturing, and I'm gonna be in love if that's what it is.
That would be nice. Because have you ever seen this special livery? I think it was from Imola or Monza a few years ago. I think it was not Carlos's first year, but I think Seb was still there. It looks like almost a maroon with the yellow. I don't think I would want it to be maroon because that's too dark.
Maroon might be a little too dark. Yeah.
Yeah. Just a little bit deeper. That'll look so nice. Because it has been the same shade of red for the past few years.
Yeah.
Change it up.
Switch it up a little bit. Especially because you have Lewis coming in.
Yeah.
Switch it up a little bit.
But yeah, their social media, killing it. Because obviously, like, Williams released a whole little YouTube video of Carlos's first day in the car and Abu Dhabi testing because Ferrari was nice and was like, yes, now you can have, like, you can take them.
Right.
Obviously, Ferrari has no social media content to post. So, but the stuff that they're doing, it does seem elevated. I know Ferrari is a luxury brand to begin with, but the content they're putting out does seem more luxury or something. To make it
well,
sense.
I'm sure now, like with Lewis, like I'm sure the whole vibe was like we need to make it more like regal. Is like the vibe that they're kind of going for, which will be fitting for Lewis coming in. You know, the stature that man holds in the sport and everything. You know, so I could see it happening. But yeah, it's their social media is killing it. I would love to see a new shade of red on that car. Bring it on. You can get like really gross with that too when it comes to like Las Vegas. Like you can if it's like a darker, deeper red, you could get really good with that. Like
I think it was Hell's today, because today's video, it was like the person was making their passes for when they're in the factory. And Hell's was like, there's been a lot of white throughout each video as well. So like, if it's something like Vegas with more white details,
please.
I'll be buying bricks for sure.
Yeah, please make it happen.
To continue with Ferrari, it was announced today that we could see Lewis on track at the Ferrari factory in a Ferrari next week. He should be there next week for sure to be in the sim. But weather permitting, they've also reserved the track at Maranello or Farino like 3 days, so we could see him in a car on track. There was also rumors the police in that area are already preparing because they're expecting like parade level crowds for when Lewis is there, and I think Charles will also be there as well. So it's going to be
absolutely
like royalties coming.
Yeah,
but yeah, I forgot to add that in there. Because I broke this. I think I posted that article this morning. But yeah, I wanted to add that. IndyCar news. Get into the IndyCar news.
IndyCar.
What do you want to do first? The booth trio or the commercial?
Let's do the booth trio first. Let's go in the order, because my thing that I want to talk about is the commercial itself.
Okay. So yes, it was, let me just pull up, announced today. There has been rumors, very strong rumors, that Will Buxton was going to be moving over to the IndyCar and becoming a part of the Fox team. And then he was with Prima's launch the other day, which that should have been my meme of the week. The Prima livery and the cars livery next week. So there was rumors there, and then there was rumors yesterday that started that James Hinchcliffe was also going to be joining. But no one, like, people reached out to Fox and IndyCar, and no one like got back with a comment, or James people. But yes, today it was announced that we will have Will Buxton, James Hinchcliffe, and Townsend Bell as the booth talent for IndyCar. That's a stacked trio.
Honestly, it's what an awesome booth.
And like, we've seen Will, like, thank God, like, I think it makes me more excited because we've seen Will and James interact so many times throughout the F1 season. Yeah. And they can be chaotic and hilarious. So I know it's going to be just as good. But I also love Fox at IndyCar, the new like Instagram handle where everything's being posted. They posted like a video of like each person that's in the booth, and it's so funny because they have like the random like funny moments with Will, like interviewing other drivers, all this, and then it goes to like highlights for James Hinchcliffe and then highlights for Townsend Bell. So it looks like Will's just like a funny like comedic interviewer, and then it's like two intense race car drivers. So, but yeah, that'll be. I mean, I can listen to James Hinchcliffe forever, and I know people were like
so knowledgeable.
Yeah, so insanely knowledgeable. But
yeah,
people are already making Will's. People are now wondering who's taking Will's spot on F1 TV.
Good question.
Since Will be gone, I mean, he posted on Instagram today, so he is stepping away fully from F1 TV. Not like James, because people are like, we'll miss James, and I was like, James was never full time to begin with.
Yeah,
James has been doing both for years now, so
yeah,
makes sense.
And James, it makes sense. Hinchcliffe comes in once the IndyCar season wraps up.
Yeah, he does he'll do like Canada, I think, if there's no IndyCar that overlaps, and then he'll do Miami, obviously. But then then he comes back and does all the US and North America races, like, and I think even Brazil, and then obviously we had him all the way through Qatar and Abu Dhabi last year. Like, he'll finish out the season. So yeah, James isn't going anywhere. It's Will that they're technically losing full time. So
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see.
It makes sense. It makes sense for Will if he's going to be doing this season full time. It makes sense. It would be really difficult on him to do F1 TV and IndyCar, borderline impossible, like you said, because there are weekends that overlap. So it's like it'd be so hard to make that commitment. But yeah, I love the booth. I think it's great. I think between this and this can be a nice kind of segue over into the commercial talk. This announcement and the commercial that they put out the other day, Fox is already off to a great start with IndyCar.
Oh, Fox is killing it.
Yeah.
And like Mark had quotes today from Pato, and Pato like had nothing but praise for the commercials and what Fox is doing. Like I didn't really ever hear drivers talk about NBC coverage and how much they enjoyed it. Like Fox is already also having that commercial on during the Eagles-Packers football game, which came out today, that it was the most watched game of the weekend. So all those eyes were on the IndyCar commercial, and it was so good. But there is also 2 more coming. One centered around Pato, and one centered around Alex Palou. Which Alex Palou is the one that, when they talk about Joseph Newgarden's book, he's like, my kid hate it. So that he's also going to be in his own commercial.
Of course, great.
Well, he's also the reigning champ, so they have to have one with him.
Yeah. This is like what I wanted to talk about. It's like first of all, the first commercial with being Joseph Newgarden and everything, great choice for a first commercial.
And Tom Brady.
Yes. You bring Tom Brady into it just to get another recognizable name in there and everything. But the fact that, he's, Indy 500 winner, multiple time Indy 500 winner, all this stuff, it's just such a good launching point. And then it's like, all right, now we'll get into like maybe a little bit of the deeper cut drivers like Pato and Alex, but also like just as important drivers and just as marketable drivers. Like
that's what they're totally going for market-wise because of Pato.
Yeah.
Fox isn't stupid. They saw what happened with Pato last year at the end with
absolutely
IndyCar being like, Pato's not famous enough. I'm sorry, yes he is. Also, with Alex Palou, he's super young. He's won the past 2 seasons. He's a reigning champ, like 2-time champ. Starting with Joseph Newgarden was perfect because he legit looks like a superhero. So, he's nicknamed Captain America. So, it makes perfect sense. But yeah, it wasn't like a boring commercial. That makes sense.
No, I'm watching it right now on IndyCar on Fox Threads. And it's a great commercial. Like, it explains a little bit, explains perfectly who Joseph Newgarden is. The bit of starting off with him being like a sperm spell, winning that race, hilarious. Like, it's great. It's a great commercial. Like I said, I'm so excited for what they bring more in. And it's right, like I said, IndyCar on Fox right now, you're off to a great start. I would love to see viewership numbers for Indy 500 for other races this season.
Well, and I know the other 2 commercials are still going to come during other playoff games,
which they're smart for. They're genius for.
Yeah, and the Super Bowl is on Fox, so I would not be surprised if there is an IndyCar commercial.
It's gotta be
in general during the Super Bowl.
There's gotta be
huge. But yeah, no, they're off, and they posted today is the start of their media day. They do media week, and there's clips on IndyCar on Fox's Instagram. And if you scroll, the last one looks like they're filming an intro, and it looks like an F1 level intro. Like they have the track layout on this side because their intro was kind of non-existent on NBC before, but Fox is like, no, not happening. So
if Fox comes in and does this fantastic job with IndyCar and revitalizes the sport from a viewership standpoint, NBC is going to be kicking themselves.
Oh, 100 for sure.
Yeah.
I know we're going to be in St. Pete, and it's the whole kickoff too for Fox while they're because St. Pete's the first race of the weekend of this year. But I feel like when we come home, I need to watch the race because I want to see what the coverage was like.
Yeah, I'm gonna want to watch it too.
Because people do have complaints when it comes to their NASCAR coverage. They always say it's not the greatest, and it's way to commercials to too much. But I am very excited to see what it's like coverage wise and the intro and everything. So it'll be interesting to come back and watch it. So, but yeah, that was the IndyCar news. Lots of fun news.
Lots of news. Now, though, it is time for a wonderful interview with our friends over at BoxBox Club. This interview is also brought to you by BoxBox Club, which I won't bore you with the entire ad read, because essentially the next 40-minute interview is one giant ad read. But this is a great interview. This is previously recorded. It was me and Ranjith from BoxBox. I asked him a bunch of questions that we written down. I asked questions too that come from our F1 thread community. So we really hope you guys enjoy the interview. I had a blast doing it. I'm so thrilled that we had a chance to do it, and honored that we were able to do it. So please go enjoy the interview. We'll see you on the other side. All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to a very special segment of the Underground Circuit podcast. As always, my name is Owen, and I have a very special guest with me this week. We are interviewing Ranjith from BoxBox Club. Thank you for joining us. We're thrilled to have you on and everything, and to talk about this wonderful app. I appreciate you coming on.
Thanks, Owen. I was always looking forward to it, and happy to about it. Yeah.
So before we jump into everything, I don't know if you listen to the show, but I work in tech, and tech is a big hobby of mine. So finding BoxBox, the app, before we started working with you guys was like a dream come true, because I was like, oh, this is such a well-built, beautiful app. And then it's also for F1, and it just centers everything around F1. And it was a match made in heaven when you guys also reached out and you're like, hey, we want you to be a part of the program, the partner program. And I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so thrilled that this is happening. But yeah, I wanted to say it. I work in tech, so I can appreciate a very well built and well thought out app, and having BoxBox and having it be the meeting of the worlds between tech and F1 was fantastic to me. I loved it. So I appreciate what you guys do and putting together such a well built and beautifully made app.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Even I was watching one of your episodes. I think the last episode with you guys are talking about it. I think it's really interesting. I think you had a really good tone that the talking about the F1 specifically, and just interacting with the users. I think that is something like really interesting. That's where we thought we could just connect with you. I think that would be one of the major thing that we can reach out to maximum users.
Yeah,
and we're happy that here, and finally I just get a chance to talk to you, and then part of one of your episodes.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate it. Like I said, I appreciate you hopping on. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Do you have any personal connections to F1? Are you a fan? Like, how did you start watching it? Give us your life story in terms of F1. How did that start?
Okay, cool. So if it starts initially, I follow usually the Formula One, so I know the driver names and etc.
Right.
But not really into it, not something not really crazy about the F1 or anything like that. So I think due to the pandemic, that's where I start getting to some of the sports. I used to watch different sports before. I'm from India, Bangalore, and we in India where we follow cricket. I'm sure that you would have been heard about cricket is something a kind of a religious sport. So we all just. And I was watching Formula One, and I really like the part of how the driver just put effort into driving a car, and the technology what is integrating. So everything has got really curious. So I started late in 2020. I think that's what we started.
Okay.
And then surprisingly, don't judge me because of I'm also one of the fan from the TTS Drive to Survive.
No judgment here.
Really, so not really got into that, but before that I particularly just follow bunch of a driver that that's something that which I really like about it. Then I started watching, and then started reading about the sport a lot, and then due to the time zone conflict, every time zone, right, it's so hard to follow. Some of the races will be on the midnight, or some of the race could be in the early morning. So every time just go to Google and searching something, and then back and forth. That's something a little bit hectic. And then later, that's what we just start the product, the BoxBox. When we just pick it, I think that is one of the major things that I felt that this should have some applications. So I had a design background, so I was a product designer and the product design manager for the bunch of other MNC company for the last 15 years. I'm working.
Okay.
So when I started BoxBox, it started as a concept, a bunch of a widget that which I created. main problem that which we want to solve is how do one could watch Formula One without going to Google or without going to the official websites and etc. I think that is something that which we want to solve it. Then I put it out there on the Twitter. I think that's where I just met my co-founder Kamal, who's a tech genius, I would call it. So he responded to the tweet asking that, hey, I really interested about this concept. Can we just build this product? So that's what we just started. So initially we just started with that around 2021 April, if I'm right. Yeah, the April is something that which we started.
Okay.
Then we started talking to a lot of users, just going through all the Reddit and Twitter, all the platforms, trying to understand if there is any other product that which is doing not. And then we're trying to make sure that, just taking all the capacity, whatever the design that which I can do, the push to make it look better from the design aspect of it. And the same thing from the Kamal is as I said, that's engineering genius, so that he just come up with what we can build and something that the user should feel flawlessly and the seamless. So that's what the journey of Boxbox, that's where we just started.
Yeah. Nice. I love that. Yeah, that is. Listen, there's no judgment here for being a Drive to Survive fan. But both my sister and I were Drive to Survive fans before we started following it so heavy. I mean, same thing, started in the pandemic. I was in college, so all of my classes were online, and I was not really doing much during the day. And a buddy of mine, a roommate, we sat down and we watched the entire first season in a day. And it was we were instantly hooked. And then it got to the point where it was I would see Netflix post hey, season 2 coming this day or something, and I would immediately text him and be like, I know what we're doing that day. That was what we were watching. And then lived with him after college, and he was more into it first than I was. And there was one weekend we didn't have anything to do, and I was like, what it's like a Sunday, and I'm like, what are you doing today? And he's like, well, there's an F1 race at noon or something. He's like, you want to watch it? I was like, yeah. And then from there, I was locked into it. I loved it.
Yeah.
I delved so deep into it and everything. And then it was just, then watching it, the cycle just looped, because it was, you watch the season, then you watch Drive to Survive, then you watch the season, Drive to Survive. So that's what brings me here today as a fan.
Pretty much. I think I could add a few more things. Pretty much same for me. I think as a designer, that I always look from a different perspective of every individual thing. So when the Drive to Survive, mostly, I would say, I started looking from the driver perspective, how a driver prepares just before getting to the car, right? I think if you're watching Formula One, you really don't get to it. The race start and then going. So you probably look at the top 5 driver. So you really didn't bother about the driver who drive for the 20th or 15th positions and etc. So Drive to Survive is actually kind of giving an insight of each and every driver, how they prepare, before even just going to the the race or the practice, is how much important the practice is going to be, how much important is going to the qualifications, more than everything, how they prepare well for the in the mental well-being and etc. I think that is something really intrigued me. And I initially thought, this is just you're getting a fastest car that you could just go and drive, but it's not about the car, right? I think the driver has to prepare for it. I think they just go to a different country on every bi-weekly, that just go to the different part of the world, and they have to maintain everything that they have to maintain. So these are something that really intrigued, that I thought, okay, fine, this is something really interesting. It's not about not about just going fast, or the cars are just going fast and all the fancy things that was just happening. Then I started watching, going back and watching all the older races, 2008, 2010, everything that arcade was just available. So that so Drive to Survive, one season is complete. Then parallelly, I will be watching the Formula One race, I think 2021 season, and then again go back to the older races. So whatever is available, so I started watching and then started reading about the drivers and etc. And that's something that gave me a lot of interest into the sport. Then I really understood that this sport is something else. As compared to any other sport, I feel I really value the sports something else as compared to any other thing. Then started getting hooked into it, then you're looking at each and every driver, that's really, really interesting part of it.
I love it. Yeah, whenever there's a quote unquote boring race, you have the races where it's safety car doesn't come out, there's not kind of accident, there's not a lot of overtaking, stuff like that. Anytime it's one of those races, it's really hard for me to sit there and be that is a boring race, because I'm constantly trying to think kind of the same way as you, put myself in the driver's shoes of okay, yes, he's not doing MaxVerstappen when he was winning by 30 seconds per race a season ago, he's not doing much, but he still has so much going on in his head that he needs to think about during and post race that it's like, it grabs me every single time. Like I love watching the races now with that mindset. It's it's a blast.
Yeah, once you just get to know about how these like every driver just going for the race, that's really interesting.
Yeah.
That's actually like, just give me an Austrac. I think we had an opportunity to go into the garage and then like interacting with the drivers and trying to understand that how they just prepare before the race and everything for the F2 garages. I think that's really interesting. After the watching, you literally look at them with like huge respect. And I was able to talk to a bunch of like the drivers and engineers and all the people who are just working, beside the paddock. Like, we get to see only the drivers and maybe a team principal and like few of the engineers.
Right.
But every engineer is like, when you talk to them, that you understand the kind of passion that what they're just putting in, and the kind of work what they're just putting to just make it working better. So that's like really interesting. I think every department, like, just if you look at from top to bottom, every individual has put that 100%. I think that's 100% what like return to us as a win on a Sunday race. Like, when you see the Sunday race, okay, that person's winning because that's a combination or the culmination of every individual's work, hard work. I think that's completely commendable and appreciable to just see it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. I would love to see more like behind the scenes of that, like in person. Like I know Williams, I really enjoyed this past year when Williams was going through the whole thing of the cars crashing towards the end of the season. They put out that video of all the engineers back in England, like working on the cars and waiting for the cars to get shipped back into the garage and whatnot. And seeing that end of it, I was like, it's so easy to forget the hundreds of team members, like you said, that are behind, the two drivers, the team principal, and like some of the prominent engineers that we get on the, the broadcast coverage and Drive to Survive and everything, So yeah, that's awesome. I love that. I want to bring it back though to kind of you guys. You mentioned that you had met the co-founder through Twitter. Can you tell me a little bit more about that relationship? Was that strictly like you guys just happened upon each other through Twitter and it's
absolutely. Yeah. So like, as you said there, like, I just created the concept and then put it on the Twitter asking that, this is the widgets the widget designs are completed. And I would love to have like any developer that if any developers are ready to build that, I'm just ready to go. So one of my friend, so the Kamal is like actually my mutual friend, which we didn't know each other before that. So he commented on the post saying that, hey, bro, I can just start working on this one. Then we started to, having conversation on the Twitter messages and etc. Because I'm talking to him for the first time, and this guy is like really interested, and he's like, yes, we want to do this because this designs look really good, and I can do something justifies to it, and give me some 3 days. Probably I'll just get back to you in 3 days. And I felt, okay, maybe probably most of the people, they give some time and then the commitment level just go like really down, right? So I was just given a time. Then exactly after 3 days, he just pinged me again saying that, okay, fine, I got it. Like, I got the way out that what we have to do it. Then I really interested. I was like, okay, fine. This guy is like actually really into it. And I think
really invested.
Yeah, really invested into that. Then I secretly went and stalking his Instagram profile and happened to see that he's one of his tattoos. So he had a Formula 1 car tattoo over here in the forearm. So I felt, okay, this is the person that who I'm looking at. And it felt like, if you look at the avatar, that you get the dragon and connect and say that this is the matching dragon. Yes, then I felt that moment that this is the guy who just wanted to work on it. Then it was like dream come true sort of combinations or in a partnership that which I was having from him from the day one to till date. So that is something that which we started to having conversation that what are the problems that users are facing. Then we reach out to a bunch of users through Twitter account and then Reddit, and going back and forth, reading a lot of comments and seeing that what are they like really facing the issue. So we try to incorporate all that, and then the version 1 that when we put it out, and that was just a bunch of widgets that could show the schedule and countdown and the favorite driver and the favorite team. I think these are the few things that which we added and then put it out there. And I felt that that's something. Since we are from India, then we thought the product might be working like really well only in India, being like 1.4 billion users, and there are like 60 million plus users out there who's watching Formula 1 over here. So we never thought of it is going to be like like global product or anything like that.
Right.
But we thought, okay, why not just enable that into global product? I think as soon as when we just enable it, then we started to seeing the like users are like super overwhelmed, and then they started to installing the product and started just giving feedback from the day one onwards. I think that's something keep us keep improving. I think we always focus on user-centric design. I think we like reach out to users for every each and step to try to understand that what else that which we can do it. I think the whole point is building something solid for the fans perspective, and something that which they can connect with it, and they really love to look at it, because being there is an official product out there, we wanted to put the out there and thinking that why box if there is an official product, and why box. So that is the main problem that we want to solve. So the key point was technology and design, and then our company is always like in a design-led engineering company. So we were started with the two people, and then that's something that which we started and just continuously going on the same method. Even now, we just talk to users personally.
Yeah, that is, like I said, I love that. Something I look forward when I'm like looking for an app to solve a problem for me is not only, can it solve the issue for me? Is it, well built and everything, but is it also cared for? Is it, is it worked on, is it a dead in the water app that hasn't been updated in years? And the fact that you guys, you're constantly pushing updates, you're constantly asking for feedback, you're constantly building out this app to make it the best possible application for F1 fans, I love. And I appreciate like so immensely. It's like I'm sure my wife is tired hearing me talk about it, but I always say like a well-built app is just like the best thing you can get, because it's like, yes, like it solves my issue and it's good. Like it's not like really janky and really frustrating to work with, but it solves my issue. It solves my issue and it's beautiful. It's great. Yeah, and I love
Thank
it.
You. Happy to hear that.
You guys, yeah, I mean, you guys do fantastic work. So you had mentioned that when you first put out the idea, the main idea behind making Box was, I want to know the F1 schedule, the schedule without going to Google, having this kind of centered place for here's the schedule, here's when stuff's happening, here's when the races are, So once the schedule was built out, once the, I'm assuming like the calendar function in the app, was built out and everything, what was the next step? Did you guys kind of have like an aha moment where it was like, oh, this could be so much more? Or was it just like, let's just, keep climbing the steps from here? Like what were the next steps from, okay, we have this first initial build, where do we go from here?
Okay, so the first build, when we put it out, the pure intention was just to fans, creating a product for the fans. I think that's the whole intention, that we want to put the app out there and let everyone is enjoying. So that's the only thing. The intention was us, because me and Kamal was working the different organization back in those days.
Right.
So we were working box as a part-time, like, just whenever our office hours, like we sit around 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. So, and then that goes till 3 a.m. in the early morning, just, having a bunch of coffees and etc. So once the product is out, and as I said that, all of a sudden started getting a lot of download numbers. Like we started getting a lot of feedback, so that we just constantly look at the feedback, and especially for the user reviews. So when we're looking at the user reviews, they started to tell him that, hey, we really enjoy this product, and this is something that which we are looking for, like ages, or anything that which you could say it. Then we started to putting our roadmap, like what we have to do it. So the first version had only the widget centric, like only the widget was there.
Okay.
And then we wanted to build a product around it, like how can we just make the inner pages of the screens is. So everything that we need to just build from the scratch. And then we started looking at, okay, fine, maybe we'll start with the initial screens inside the product, and then slowly that we're just moving over it. Then I had a talk to a bunch of users, like around 100 plus users, that had chat with them and asking them that. So the one of the major thing that what we figured out, like all of a sudden, like once initially when we introduce a product, all of a sudden, like we started getting download numbers are just going like really high, and me and Kamal was find it like I think it could be like some spike, or maybe some issue in the App Store Connect, or it's not like natural to happen, like all of a sudden like going around like for one day like 5,000 downloads and 10,000 downloads, that which is going. So we were not able to understand like what's happening. And India, like we in India, like how to say, like the TikTok is banned, so we don't have an access to TikTok at all. So we never know that. So there's a user from Spain or Mexico. He just created a video on TikTok and just posted, and that post went viral, and then people started using the product a lot. Then somehow we understood that, okay, so there are a lot of market. So the first thing that we thought, accessibility going to be like one of the important things. So we integrated 3 more additional languages, like Spanish, French, and Dutch, I think, if I'm right. So we just introduced along with along with English. I think that was help us push like more boundary. Like, that's something that we were able to just go to maximum users. So that if you look at our orders, like I used to talk to people in Spanish, like, using the Google Translate and then chatting and then conveying that, talking to the users and etc. Like, gathering information, because we are not like a native Spanish speaker, right? So we just talked to them and understanding. Then we just created the whole plan, and then the 2023 is where we thought, okay, we want to just make like really good product. Like, this is something that which you want to do it. But back in the mind that we had, like me and Kamal was already planned that, okay, mid of 2024 or end of 2023, that we want to put on papers, like, just quit our 9 to 5 job, and then this one we need to pursue it 100%. That is something that which are our goals. But the roadmap was there completely, and then we slowly just building around that.
That's awesome. I always have this pipe dream of like, I'll get like a random thought where I'm like, oh, this is a really good idea. I wonder if I can make that an app. I have no coding experience whatsoever. I have no knowledge of that at all. So I'm always just like, oh, it's a pipe dream. But hearing that process and like seeing how successful it is for you guys, it's awesome to see. And it's like, I have such a respect and admiration for you guys for taking that commitment and taking that jump. Like you said, like you're starting like 10, 11 o'clock at night and working on the app till like 3 o'clock in the morning, just grinding coffees throughout the night and everything. And then going to your normal 9 to 5 jobs. I think that's awesome. I have such a respect for you guys for doing that. And also just delivering an amazing app to everybody. I also want to know, like, getting the app from there, like you guys said, user in Spain posted a TikTok about the app. From there, it kind of skyrocketed and everything. At that point, were you on like app, or were you on iOS devices only? Were you Android devices only? Like, what was the moment where it was like, okay, we need to take this thing globally? And how did you guys do that?
So the product was in a globally from the day one onwards, which is out there everywhere, but we didn't had an Android product back then.
Okay.
Because like as I said, that it was like only two of us, right? Me and Kamal was building, so we didn't have any other Android developer back in those days. Then we started getting a lot of users inquiry about it, like, why not creating an Android? So the problem is, like, an Android still finding it really difficult to create the widgets. So that we are finding better developer, some really good Android engineer who could come and then help us. So I think the second version onwards, which we started Android product, I think that's where we just introduced Android product as well. Then slowly just going from there. I think that's that's the moment that we thought, okay, this has to convert into a product. Like there is a switch from the passion project to a product, right? We were looking at into primarily into like each and every nook and corner of the product and how well that we can build and what is something that which you want to do it. And the advantage was, like, I come from the design background, and same thing, the Kamal coming from the engineering side of it. So we had the immense knowledge. Like, combined together, we had more than 25 years of experience. So that's something that put it out there and seeing that, what else that we can just push the boundary maximum and give a really kick-ass product for the users. Like, the F1 fans always deserve something like really, really good. So we're always into, okay, like if there is any new technology, or if there is something like a new trend which is going to coming in, and then if you want to integrate, we would be like allowed to just go and experiment and see that whether if it's fit for the product. We look at first the product fit. If that's fitting, then we would be adding that immediately. I think that is something that which we just do it. And the globally, like as you said, that we going forward, like, we started integrating more and more languages. Like, at this moment, we are supporting almost like 19 languages. That's something that which we working with the users and start integrating all that stuff. Yeah.
Very nice. I love that. If you don't mind me asking, do you know off the top of your head, how many users do you currently have now? Do you know?
So yeah, we have around like a 2.1 or 2 million combined together. So that's something that which we have it. So that's like really cool. So yeah, I forgot to tell you that. So when we build the product, so like our like I would say mantra, or like our line was like, we're not building a company, we're just building a community, because we wanted to be part of all the fans. And like, when I say that like 19 languages, we are not using Google Translator, so we're not using any ML or AL. So we the first version when we added, so what I did, we used a Google Translator and then put it out there. So that there could be a shootout and there are qualifications. So when you translate, that's actually changing to a real shootout. with the person carrying gun and everything. So we didn't know that. So we just add it and then put it out on the app. And then one of the users actually called out and said that, hey, the actual meaning is like wrong. And, I would love to just help you with it. Then we just thought, okay, why not, collaborating, or why not working with the users? And we just tweeted asking that, hey, if anybody would love to just help us with translating, like we would love to just go ahead and then translate. So and me and Kamal used to have a call with the users, and we would be sharing the screens and then asking them to translate each and everything. So that's something that which we were doing alongside with the user at the beginning of it. Even now we do the same thing. Like, we just, in return, we'll just give them some sort of a gift, like either our subscription for a year, or like some other reward that which we just give them for the effort that what they're just putting it. So then we started including the users also part of the product. I think that is something give us a entirely different dimension altogether to how well that which we can just go, how well that which we can push it. So that's an interesting process that which we added. Even now we constantly listen to the users. Like, we had an option to have any auto response or like anything that which we could add it, but me and Kamal was pretty adamant about it. Like, even if we just get an immense number of mails or WhatsApp support or message support, we have to personally attend everything. Like, each and every review that we listen, we read, we put it on our board and see that what else that we can do it and how can we just improve. So I think one of the important things is start listening to the users, so you can really make those changes. You can just create that dent into it. So if you start ignoring it, then we would be going in a different direction. But so the day one to even now, we just listen to the users and see what they want to say. Be it positive, be it negative, we will be always reading that. We will be reading personally, and then we'll respond to them as soon as possible, like maximum at any time. And then we'll try to come up with a solution that if it's possible, and then we'll just ship it the build immediately. Yeah.
That is so awesome to hear. The fact that you guys take the time to read every single user feedback that comes in. Again, my respect for during this whole talk, my respect for this app and for you guys is just skyrocketing. I love it. It makes me so happy. So I also have to ask too, your most recent collaboration was with Alpine. Can you share the story about how that came about? How did that come to fruition?
I think that's still, we wanted to keep it as a confidential. I think I mean, I won't be able to talk more about it, but still I can just promise that the 2025 we probably just going to have a much more tighter collaboration with some of the official teams as well. But more than anything, that it's little under the confidentiality, so I would rather not answer it. But of course we will be get to know soon.
Absolutely, I appreciate it. So I also, in turn with writing my own questions and everything and trying to think of some conversations that we could have, I also asked our F1 Threads community if they had any questions for you guys. There were a couple questions that you would answer just kind of in the conversation. How did you come up with the app? All this stuff. Some of the other questions, though, are really good. I love them. They're great. So one of the questions we have is from a user named Jesse. She asks, how hard is it for the developing team to include the live feed and overall how to administrate the app? So, how hard is it to maintain the day-to-day operations of the app? And then you guys also have the live activity feature. How hard was that to, integrate into the software?
Okay, cool, perfect. So when it comes to live activity, I think this is something like craziest thing that which we done even now and even back in those days. So that we have an admin portal, wherein that I can manually enter the times, right? I think when you look at the race, that you could see that which driver is going first and what are the timing and what are the commentaries which is happening. So me and Kamal watch. I think after 2022 to till date, I never missed any races. Every race that we watch, every member of the team, so that either me or Kamal would be manually entering and we submit, so that goes to the user directly.
Wow.
So that's a lot of a manual process that which we're doing, because we cannot use any of this live data from Formula One directly, right?
Okay.
So the official don't allow to just do that, so that we using an extreme of maximize it in a way that. Doing it the manual process. I think that's all I could say it right now. But as I said, that pretty much everything is which is out on the social medias and which we're using the driver scores or the points and etc.
Right. That's awesome. The fact that you guys are manually inputting that information, and I use the live activities too. Even if I am watching the races, you guys are on it. You guys are you're right there. Like the moment something happens, I see it pop up on the live activity. It's great. Jesse would also like to know if you guys need an intern for next year. She's interested. No pressure to answer now. She's was curious.
Yeah, we would love to have it. I think, like as I said, that like initially when we started in 2022, I think we collaborated with pretty much like 20 odd creators from across the world. I think all of us are working for us in some extent in terms of providing the content and then providing some of the information for the facts and stats about the application. Yeah, I would love to just talk to her. Like, you can ask her to DM me or comment. We'll take it forward from that, like what extent that which we can offer.
Absolutely. Yeah, we'll make sure we'll get you guys in touch.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. So we had another user. Her name is Frey. She asked a couple questions. She asked, how did you come up with the app? You guys kind of, you covered that topic and everything. Have you ever noticed, are there any drivers currently that use the app, whether it be F1, F2, F3? Like, do you know of any drivers that currently use the app? And if there are, how did that feel the first time that you realized, like, oh wow, like an official driver is using a product that we created? What was that like?
Oh, okay, yeah. So yeah, that's like an interesting, that's something like a really interesting moment for us. Like, so one of the day, like one of our users like actually sent us a screenshot saying that, hey, this is Charles' phone. I think he's using the lock screen widget, and he sent us a, he just sent us a screenshot and then posting it, like it just confirm whether this is a box or not. So we were not able to identify it because that's fairly blurred and it's not able to identify anything. This is like slant screens and etc. So we thought, okay, maybe probably we could just check the database, like if we have any user from Monaco or like somebody from like in the name of Charles or anything.
Right.
But that like most of the user, like they're tricky. I think they will be always using Charles' name as their email ID or Louis or Max. Like, and they all use it. So we cannot identify that's like an actual real driver or not. And then Charles, I think he posted one of his blog, if I'm right. I think like when he just glanced the phone and that like users started taking screenshot, then they started sending us saying that, hey, I think the Charles is using the product. I think that is something that which we know it through the social media, so that we confirm it, like after looking at the design, that we could say that, yeah, that's our product. And that is something, I think that is one of the moment where we got a huge number of downloads. Like all of a sudden the users started pouring in and then started downloading it, etc.
Right.
But apart from that, there are a bunch of our friends who are there in the UK who's closely working with the Formula personalities, and they confirmed a few of the engineers and few of the drivers are using our product. But we didn't have any confirmation directly, or we never witnessed or anything like that.
Right.
And that same things goes for even the F2 paddock as well. Like if you look at all the F2 drivers, yes, there are a few of them are using, but we don't know who are. Like I wish that some of the drivers would be using it. Like I'm happy to see that.
Right. So what, like, how do you imagine that would feel? Like, like say if you got like the official confirmation, Charles Leclerc, one of the most popular drivers on the Formula One grid right now, was using the product and is like thrilled with it, loves it. How would you imagine that would feel like? What do you think your reaction would be like?
I think that's going to be like a dream come true, right? I think see the end of the day that which you're creating for a product. I think when we started and where we are sitting, I'm in touch with, and gratefully that we were able to achieve a bunch of achievement through in terms of the number of downloads and in terms of having a collaboration with Owen Manuel Correa, like having your logo on the cards and etc. I think that's a like really happy moment. I think we thought like when you design something, you usually put a mock-up, right? I think you just put your logos on the mug, or you put your logos on your t-shirts and etc. So I still remember that when we were just creating the logos, I just place it on the car, like just roughly looking at it, how that's gonna look like. And all of a sudden that's getting, that's becoming real, and we were able to just go and witness and everything. So that's something that we are in the cloud nine moment. And yeah, absolutely. Like, and if you're able to see that, I think that's something like motivate us to do a lot. I think I could say that like me and Kamal, like our journey always start like we just open our laptop, and the first thing that we just go and look at the reviews of App Store Connect, like just go and look at all the store reviews, or like, probably just go and look at the Play Store, like, Android reviews and everything, like read all the reviews and get motivated and look at all the collaboration, whatever that we did, and what all the appreciation that what we. But they start like that. I think this is repeatedly which you're doing for the last 3 years, and then going forward also going to do the same thing. I think that is something that, like, really motivate us, and it's going to be like amazing to just see that if any drivers are going to be using our product. I think I'm not sure that how I'm going to react. Probably I would be like, just going to be like out, like, okay, I think this is what I want to do it. I think that's it.
Yeah, I can imagine. It's like, you think about it so much and you're like, oh, this would be great, and all of a sudden, and then it's like the moment it actually does happen, it's like, oh, I don't know what to think here.
Absolutely.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I would, the fact that if Charles Leclerc is using the app, that would be so cool, like so awesome to see, just for you guys and everything too. And it's absolutely well deserved. You guys, like I said, knock it out of the park, and I'm gonna take your words too. You guys made a kick-ass app for Formula One, and I love it. Part of that app that I love too is you guys have so many widgets available for, like, the iPhone specifically is a device that I have. And it's so much information, and it's so nice just having it on my home screen. So, like, how do you come up with those? Like, how did you come up with those ideas? Do you guys have like a brainstorming session? Was like, all right, these are the widgets that come along, or was it like you're reading user feedback and somebody says, hey, it would be great if we had XYZ widget, and then you go ahead and make it,
Okay. So we always have the product call, like in every week we do have a product call with the teams at which we discuss about like what needs to come the next and etc.
Right.
So iOS actually allow us to create a lot of teams, the design teams, and like me as a designer, like if I just set some of the screensaver or the wallpaper, I just use it for almost a month, or like maybe 2 months or 3 months, and I'm somebody who just aesthetically place all the icons, like all the icons should be on the same colors, and the widget has to be very clean and neat.
I love that.
So when I look at it, like, that is something so I know that every individual would be like so personal with their phone, like when they're showcasing it, that it has to be there. So, and then the widget is allowing us to just create a multiple themes. Then we thought, why not adding wide range of themes for the users, because everyone who prefer a lot of other stuff, right? I think recently that which we introduced a minimalistic theme,
yes,
where we are not using any of the images, like just playing around with the colors and dots, and we add a lot of these kind of a small little things, just try to understand whether users are getting it or not. So I think that's what we'll be starting, like slowly, that we're just adding more and more themes and etc., which users are like really love about it. Like there's somebody who just prefer to have a really good colors on the widget, like everywhere on the widget. So maybe the first pivot, like when we started, it has a black and very minimalistic widget, and the second version when we added colors, so that some of the users are actually said that, hey, I don't like to have a colors on my home screen, because I love to have the older version, the last year version. So 2021 version was much better. Sorry, 2022 version was much better, because that was very minimalistic, and 2023 got like little bit colors and graphics and added. That's where we really said, okay, fine, we don't want to force for the user to use something that what we're building, so maybe why not we are having giving an option for them to choose what they wanted. Then we started creating it, and then that end up having, I think, like right now, if I'm right, we have a close to like a 170 or 180 variants of widget designing, like
wow,
like
that's
compared
awesome.
to like and everything. Yeah,
that's very cool. Yeah, I love how much like you guys have like the widget settings and everything, and you can make it however you want. Like I have on my iPad, I have 4 widgets. It's like calendar, news, World Drivers Championship standings, World Constructors Championship standings, and then I have the McLaren team widget, which I gotta say, I think those team widgets are my favorite, because they're so uniquely designed, and it's such a good overview of the team. So it's like my favorite driver is Lando Norris. So it's like right in that widget, I get Lando's standings, Lando's points, where McLaren is standing, and also where Oscar is standing and everything. And it's awesome. I love it. I will say there are sometimes when I can't watch the race that I find myself like spoiling things from looking at the widgets, because I'll see it and I'll be like, oh, McLaren scored X amount of points. That means they did this in the race. So, but they're fantastic. They're so cool. I have one more question from you. for you from our F1 Threads community. And feel free to share as much as you feel comfortable with. But is there anything that you guys are working on in the future, whether it be for BoxBox or anything else that you can share with us? A little bit of a teaser, a little bit?
Yep. Yeah. So currently we are just working on a product called Go Steps AI. So we're just working on a product for focusing more into daily activity.
Okay.
Wherein, it's like a step counter where you could just, count your steps from zero and just suggest some of the plans, like, that's completely curated for every individual. So let's say, like, I can just go ahead and then, ask for a plan, that walking plan or running plan. So that's going to create a plan for you, like customized for you, and making sure that everyone's moving. Like, I think this is some of the problem that which we faced during the pandemic, like, and everyone's sitting at one place, and like it's so hard to move, right? I think everyone's staying there and nobody's just completing their necessary steps and everything. So even though there are like a bunch of apps that which is gonna, like, out there, we want to create some version of ours and then see that what is that which we can do it, like, what is something, the uniqueness which we can create it. So we are going to try to integrate some of, like, a really good feature from Apple, like, trying to identify how well, what is the ideal time for you to just walk, like, based on your golden hours, or what are the best possible time for you to walk.
Nice.
And also considering the accessibility, like, not just for the walk. I think the person who's using the wheelchair, that they could measure their wheelchair pushes or wheelchair steps, and then going forward, that is something that which you're looking at it. I think that is another product which is coming. And overall, that we be creating an overall, like the entirely new design for a pit wall. And then there are a bunch of other application which is going to coming in, like, one is going to be Sleeks. I think that's the MotoGP product.
Nice.
I think that we just kept it for a long time, that which we, like, probably going to start sometime soon. And then there are a bunch of other interesting product which is in the pipeline. I think, again, like as you said, that BoxBox, like, turned to become a really massive product, wherein everyone's effort is required to just build and work on only on that product, so that we are not getting enough time to just spend on the other side of it. So, like, as and when we're just getting time, that we just go back and then looking at it and then creating the product. So far, like, the three product, I think, like, you should be I think I'm just going to tell you now, like, we were planning for, like, Feb 14th is what we are just planning to launch this product. Like, just you can just start walking from Feb 14th onwards, and we'll see that what else we can do. So that's going to be, like, a really interesting product. I think personally within our team, that we all of us are, like, really interested to look at the product, and everyone's started to act like active mostly. So hopefully, like, hopefully that we'll see that how well that goes.
Yeah, that's awesome. I've been seeing the teasers on, like, your Instagram stories and everything for the step counter and whatnot, and I'm a big runner, so that will definitely become my main default running, walking step counting app. That is awesome. I'm so thrilled.
Yeah.
Well, that is all that I have. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate it. If you guys are interested, for our listeners, if you want to learn more about BoxBox, make sure to go follow them on Instagram and Threads at BoxBox_club. And then that is the same over on Twitter/X, whatever you want to refer to it as. That is also BoxBox_club. Like I said, I can't say enough about this app. I love it. I tell everybody that I can about it. It's a beautiful app. It works so well. I'm so happy that I'm a part of it, that I'm in this, I'm even just like a partner in it and everything. And like I said, I was a user before I was working with you guys, and it really is a dream come true. So I really appreciate it. But please make sure to go follow us over on Instagram and Threads at our new social media handles. It is _underground_, and then over on X at UGCircuit_pod. The underground is spelled with no vowels except for the leading U, just like our show name. So please make sure to go follow us there. And like I said, please make sure to go follow and support Ranjith and all the guys over at BoxBox at BoxBox_club. Thank you, Ranjith, for joining me today.
Cool.
Thanks, really appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah, it was fantastic talk. I think I didn't realize that the 45 minutes just went fast. Like, really
it goes,
good to talk. Like,
it goes fast, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, yeah, I appreciate it. Thank you so much. And good luck with everything coming your way in 2025.
Yeah, cool. Thank you. We are excited for that. I think hopefully that we'll see that what we are just building on the 2025.
Awesome. Thank you.
Cool. Bye-bye.
See you later.
Welcome back.
All right, we're back.
Welcome back.
Thank you, everybody, for listening and sticking through that interview. Like I said, I had a blast doing that. It was honestly a true honor of mine to meet and talk with Ranjith about BoxBox and other stuff that they have coming in the pipeline, and just all the work, the hard work they put in for BoxBox. Like I said, my respect for them has skyrocketed. And when he told me about them with their live activities and how
I was just going to bring that up.
He hasn't missed a race since 2022 and like is manually inputting all of that data, and that's what's getting pushed to our phones. I was amazed. I was like, the commitment to it is insane.
Right, like I'll never complain about having to miss a race again and just posting on threads, because I'm not controlling an app going to millions of people.
I was so astounded when he told me that, and then just like how the whole story came about and everything, and then realizing, we have something on our hands that could be pretty big and pretty important. And I'm just, like I said, I'm so happy they decided to run with it. I'm so happy they decided to create what they made. Yeah. And it's, truly an honor to talk with them.
I love also how they take in the user.
Yes.
Feedback that was so much.
Oh, that was me too.
See that, ever.
No, you never see that. And it's like, I said it in the interview, but an app that is, or a piece of tech that is cared for and worked on is, to me, just as important as an app that actually works and solves the issue that I'm trying to solve. So him saying that and being like, yeah, every bit of piece of user feedback that we get, we read and we take into account. I was like, oh my God, this is great. And it's like, I can even personally attest to it too, because we were able to test BoxBox before the big update came out. The last big update came out, and I put in a review through the official thing, and he reached out to me right away. He's like, hey, just saw your review come in. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. We'll work on it. And I'm like, wow, you guys actually read this. It's awesome. It's
Love it's so cool. And drivers love it, so which is also
right.
Cool.
Right. And it's the thing. If Charles Leclerc uses that, that's awesome. Like I said,
use the same workout equipment, use the same BoxBox app.
Right.
You guys are best friends.
We're practically the same person at this point.
You just need a little dachshund dog now.
Right.
But yes, we hope you enjoyed that interview. It was fun having them on. I wish I was just getting over being sick, so it was like, sit this one out. You're fine.
No, we'll definitely have them back on.
Yeah, for sure.
That's something that I think we could have on a couple times, and it would never get
you would always learn something new. So.
Yeah.
But yeah. We have nothing else to add onto this week's episode. We didn't want to keep you long, just like I said, lots of weekly news, and then the BoxBox episode, or the BoxBox interview. Do you have anything else you would like to?
I have nothing. Just thank you for tuning in. We appreciate it, and we will catch you guys next week.
Yes. Owen kind of.
Sorry. Stole your thunder there.
I feel weird now, going through the whole spiel, but I'm going to do it. So, like Owen mentioned in the beginning, please give us a follow over on Instagram and threads at underground_circuit. No vowels, only leading U. And then over on Twitter or X at UG Circuit Pod. Please give us a like, comment, subscribe, rating wherever you listen to your podcast. We will be hopefully getting our YouTube up, and we're posting some reels over there, because who knows what's happening with the TikTok. Maybe we'll get on Red Note, because that place looks hilarious at the moment, so you never know what's gonna happen. But yes, thank you so much for joining us. We'll be back next week. Don't know what we're gonna talk about yet, but we're gonna do that now once we'll
figure it out.
Recording.
Yeah.
So thank you so much, and we will see you all next week.
See you later, people.